Hello, this is TurboDog702 for the Castlevania Symphony of the Night Any Percent tutorial. In this video I will be covering some of the intermediate mechanics techniques for Alucard for use inside of the Any Percent run, and some extra things on the side in case you decide to branch out into different categories. Inside of this video, we will be covering spell and item invincibility, the idea of jump slashing versus normal slashing, some bat mechanics, including one of the most important techs in the game, the Infinite Wing Smash, or IWS, some of the things that you can do with IWS and that can influence it, bat dashing, bat kicking, and the Miss Bat ability. For wolf mechanics, I will be discussing the ability to wolf jump, wolf rise, wolf kick, and use the wolf charge into bat in order to gain a speed boost. I will also be slightly covering the ability to use the Mist and Bat for use in dodging certain attacks. Although it is more for the casual run, it might be of some use to somebody. So let's jump right in. Alright, so right here I've kind of cleared out the basic library for the game. And we're going to go ahead and go over some of the abilities that I mentioned before. Okay, so I guess one of the first things that I want to get out of the way is the idea of jump slashing versus normal slashing. I right now have equipped a two-handed sword to really illustrate this point. It's not as important when you use the Alucard sword, which is part of the current Any Percent route as of December 21st, 2013. But I wanted to just kind of illustrate this point to help people out. You'll notice that Alucard swinging his sword with a two-handed weapon particularly seems to be very slow. Something that you'll notice though is that by jump attacking, you actually cancel the animation when you land. And in many cases, some weapons actually have a faster attack animation this way than they do standing still, both in startup and recovery. You can use this to your advantage by, if you have this presence of mind, when you come at enemies, you can jump attack them. Like, notice how much faster you can swing with that. How can you use this inside of a speedrun? Another reason that this is very strong as well is when you slash standing still, you stop completely. Even though it's not as fast as, say, shield dashing, doing a jump forward in attack can still allow you to move forward while you're executing your attack on an enemy. So if you have the presence of mind, you want to try to avoid standing and attacking when you're moving from place to place and instead do a jump attack. Okay. Now, I will try to cover spell and item invincibility here a little bit. So, let me go ahead and toss on some items that are a little bit more appropriate to showing off some of these mechanics. Where's my... You'll have to forgive me, this is a cleared file, so it has a lot of things on it. Ah, there's my Buffalo Star. Oops. And that's why I'm bad at this game. Alright. So a lot of abilities, most of the potion type of items, allow you to get a degree of invincibility when you use them that allows you to pass through enemies. This can be pretty important in parts of the Any Percent route in order to skip by enemies or just prevent yourself from taking damage. In general, whenever you make a mistake and drop out of a transformation, you want to try to use a item when you have the duplicator on in order to get invincibility so something doesn't hit you. I'll try to show you the invincibility at work using one of these ectoplasms. Hopefully it cooperates. Actually, I could just jump into it, I guess. Come on, come here. See, I just jumped right through it, and that's a function of the invincibility that you get from this item, which is the Mana Prism. But it works for most of the potion-type items, as I mentioned before. A similar concept can be used with spells. Most spells in the game give you a degree of invincibility, and while I can't show off anything in particular inside of the library, it is useful in some places. For example, inside of the corridor of the Marble Gallery, before you hit the outer wall, There's enemies called Diplosiphises, I believe, the snake women. and the stone roses. You can actually do the summon spirit next to a stone rose and backdash or shield dash past them during the invincibility. And that's some of the older tech that was available in the game. I guess now we get into some of the more important things, which is the bat mechanics. When Alucard turns into a bat, you'll note that when I spoke inside the basic mechanics tutorial, he has the ability to use a spell called Wing Smash, which I'll actually bring up on the spells menu here and highlight so that you can remind it. The question mark is actually jump, and what you need to do is you basically need to hold the jump button and then go from up to forward in a 3/4 motion. So from up to back to down to forward, and then release jump. And you'll get the Wing Smash spell, which I'll do here just for the sake of showing. You'll notice that after doing the Wing Dash, Wing Smash, Alucard de-transforms, which takes up a portion of time. It also kills his momentum. Something else to note is that when you hold jump, you won't be able to move. So that's another thing that makes the Wing Smash a little bit easier. Now, what's important is that there's a tech called IWS, Infinite Wing Smash. And basically, someone discovered that if you keep inputting the command for Wing Smash at a fairly fast rate, you can continue to Wing Smash for extended periods of time. So for example, if I go from here and I do a Wing Smash, I de-transform just before the top here. If I continue to do the Wing Smash motion, rather the Wing Smash command, including the release of jump, I can actually chain them together and go further, as you can see there. This is the other major speed tech besides Buffalo Star and Shield Dashing inside of this game, and it is very important that you learn to master this technique if you're going to compete in this game. Some other things that you need to know about Wing Smashing that might be beneficial to you. You can actually influence the way that you do Wing Dash by pressing up or down as you're Wing Smashing. So for example, if I just go straight, I will actually just hug the stairway, and the stairway will take me up there. If I was to hold up while I was Wing Smashing, I fly upward. And then, obviously, if I go down, I can go downward. You can continue to infinite Wing Smash, and sometimes it's hard to get the inputs in that case, but there are ways that you can kind of shortcut the Wing Smash motion in order to make yourself go up or down. I'm not very good at those, so I'm not going to cover them, but you can play around with it and see what works for you. Another thing that's important to realize about IWS and Wing Smashing is that you can actually use terrain in order to affect your directional influence. As an homage to the ROM Scout tutorial, I'm actually going to use the same place that he showed off this tech. I'm actually going to go from here, I'll go at like the marble place here, and I'm going to try to influence my direction upward with my Wing Smash, and we'll see the angle at which I approach. Let's see. So that's the angle which I approach there. Now, contrast that to if I start on the ceiling at roughly the same place. You'll notice that I can follow the slope of the ceiling, and that changes my trajectory drastically. This also can happen even if you aren't in contact with the object anymore. For example, I can use this staircase to make me to continue wing dashing at that trajectory, the trajectory of the slope. Let's see. Which is a much steeper angle than I'd be able to get by directional influence with the D-pad. This is important in certain places inside of the run, and you can probably find ways to optimize this yourself. Something to also note about the Wing Smash is that you can de-transform while Wing Smashing to basically kill your momentum and de-transform. This is important when opening doors. You cannot open doors in bat form, so being able to get into human form quickly to open doors is kind of a major issue, and you'll be using that de-transform with the bat button in order to do that frequently. Another way that you can de-transform besides finishing your wing smash or pressing the bat button again is to actually hit something. If you bonk into stuff while wing smashing, he stops instantly and untransforms. What else can I cover? Another thing to keep in mind, it's for all spells, but for Wing Dash specifically, your inputs for Wing Smash will be wiped when you enter a new screen. What I mean by that is when you load into a new screen like that. Because you'll have to space out the inputs for Wing Smash so that you don't get cut off halfway by a screen transition. If you do not plan like this, then hopefully I can do this. Instead of doing that, and I'll explain what I just did there in a moment. Instead of doing that, you'll do something closer to this. See? Like there, my Wing Smash inputs got eaten up by the zoning. That was another example of it there. So that's a real quick way for you to lose your infinite Wing Smash momentum. Ways to combat this, as I mentioned, just get a feel for the game, get a feel for how far you can Wing Smash and how quickly you do the IWS yourself, because you can do different timings for it. It's very lenient with the input. And just try to plan it out. Try to plan it out so you're always wing dashing or wing smashing near the end of a screen so that it will carry you over into the next screen with plenty of time to do another wing smash. Other mechanics that I can show off for the bat itself. The bat is very peculiar in that it tends to hold on to horizontal momentum a lot. This allows you to do things such as the bat dash, which is very simply backdashing and then pressing bat as you backdash. And as you see, depending on the speed at which you do it, you can go further or you can go a lot further distance, a lot faster, depending on how you bat dash. This is a good way for you to regain momentum if, say, you take a big fall, you land, and you need to get to bat form quickly and gain some forward speed. A good thing to practice with this is actually to bat dash and then chain it into a wing smash so that you can immediately start infinite wing smashing as quickly as you can. Another mechanic that you can do is, I mentioned the dive kick that you can use with the leap stone. While this is out of the any percent route, it can be important for other routes, and I think it's good for posterity to cover it. You can actually turn into a bat while dive kicking, and as you can see, it carries over the momentum of the dive kick. Some good times to use this are, again, if you're in Alucard mode. This is the fastest traveling method that Alucard has available to him inside, that a human reasonably can do consistently. It also allows you to chain into the wing smash, as I mentioned with the bat dash. Another mechanic, probably the last one that I'm going to cover for bat mechanics, is known as Mist Bat, which I've been doing periodically inside of this. Basically, what it does is you can actually transform into Mist and back into Bat very quickly, including during a wing smash. I'm actually going to turn off some of my relics so that you can get a better idea of what this will look like when you are in an any percent run. Okay, so now what use is this to us? Well, you notice that when I missed bat, it kills almost all of my momentum and allows me to stop on a dime. This is very important when you're trying to plan out changing direction while IWSing. There's a couple of rooms that this is a very, very important ability that you need to learn to master. I guess I could kind of show it off here inside of the library in this one particular part. Now, if I was just to IWS up these stairs, I'd fly up there. And I'd have to basically either use directional influence to put myself back on the track outside of the library on the lower route, or I'd have to like de-transform and do something really suboptimal, like say, like I could go like that, and then maybe I could bat dash backwards, and that would get me on track, but that would be a lot slower. If I used Miss Bat, I could do this instead. And then I'm automatically on track to continue to the end of the library, which is much faster. Certain rooms, like what is known as the Zigzag Room in the Reverse Castle at the Olrock's quarters, are very, very dependent on you learning this technique and mastering it, and being able to wing smash out of it as well. So, as I mentioned, it's real simple. You basically just tap Mist and Bat very quickly from one another. And you can do it while you're wing smashing. Alright. Now for some wolf mechanics. This is actually an excellent place in order to show off wolf mechanics, because most of the wolf mechanics that you're going to use are going to be inside of this part of the run. So I'm going to clear out some enemies here just to give us some room. Okay, so the wolf. The wolf has some interesting mechanics to him. I'm going to turn off some of his abilities as well, so that we can look at how it would actually work in the any % route. I mentioned that you can dash with the wolf by tapping forward twice and holding the second forward. You also notice that the wolf can jump a certain amount of height. Well, it has a really weird habit of making its jump arc very, very odd when you jump on top of stairs. Like, I'll kind of show it to you. Like, notice how he jumps, like, just ridiculously. You can actually use this to your advantage by some sort of way. I'm not sure exactly how it works. But the basic premise is that if you're running up a hill, you can jump and then press the other direction that's opposing to it quickly and get an extra large jump, which I'll show off here. See, look at how high I jumped there. Like, that's way higher than even Alucard can jump, you know? Now, this is an important ability inside of the run because it allows you to reach places that you normally couldn't much earlier. So once again, to go over it, you basically run, and then you jump and change direction. Okay? The ordering is very important. Basically, you're holding forward, jump, then quickly change direction. So it's forward, jump back. Forward, jump back. And that allows you to get the most consistent wolf jump I've found. Another thing that you can do is known as the wolf rise. And this is an important mechanic for reaching actually the fairy card inside of this room itself. But I'm just going to basically show off the principle itself. You notice that when I transform into the wolf, I kind of like hop up slightly. See? I kind of like bounce in the air slightly. You can use this little bounce to your advantage because you can turn into the mist when you're in wolf form. Now, how does that help you, you might say? Well, just as you can turn into the mist from the wolf, you can turn from mist in, or just as you can turn from the wolf into the mist, you can turn from the mist into the wolf again, like this. And notice how I'm raising slightly each time that I do it. That allows you to get height. Now, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. When you're in wolf form, you basically tap mist and then tap wolf pretty quickly after one another. So, mist wolf, mist wolf, mist wolf, mist wolf, mist wolf. You'll notice that as I'm saying this, I'm putting a slight delay in between when I turn into a mist from the wolf. Because you need to allow enough time for the wolf to do that little hop up. The last mechanic... Actually, there's 2 more mechanics that I can cover for the wolf. Another one is known as the wolf kick. Or at least that's what I call it. Basically, you know that you have the dive kick when you have the leap stone equipped. However, you're actually able to do the dive kick without the leap stone equipped by turning into the wolf, stopping, and then just doing the down and jump that you would normally do for a dive kick. I think this works for every transformation. Let me actually verify that. Yeah, any transformation that you do, you can do that, but it's most important for the wolf. What's important about this is when you dive kick, you actually bounce off of things a certain height. Let me see if I can find a good place to do this. Yeah, this guy's gonna be a jerk, I think. There we go. See? I bounced off of him when I dive kicked. That's important for reaching certain areas of the castle faster than you're supposed to be able to. So you basically can use a combination of the dive kick, the wolf rise, and the wolf jump to be able to get to places you're not supposed to be able to. The last wolf mechanic that I'm going to cover is actually using relics that you're not normally going to get inside of the normal any percent run. But again, for posterity, I'm covering them here. When you wolf charge, you can actually carry over the momentum of a wolf charge into your bat when you transform, much in the same way that you do for the bat dash, or the bat kick. And I'll try and show that off here. Let me get rid of some of these guys so they don't follow me. And then let me get rid of these guys. So I'm a wolf. I do the wolf's ability to charge really, really fast. And you see how the momentum was all carried over into the bat form? See? And then I actually stopped it there on a dime because I felt like it. But you get the point. You can use that in order to do things. Something else to keep in mind, that's just a general thing that I think people should know how to do. Keep in mind that when you turn into mist, you're invincible. So you can use that to dodge certain attacks if they give you trouble, like fireballs and such. You can also use your shield to block things, but that's more of a basic technique. You can also use your bat to fly around. You know, like get above things. Always try to keep these in mind if you screw up on something. If you screw up, you can always hit your mana prism to give yourself invincibility, but then you need a plan for after that invincibility wears off. What are you going to do? Are you going to bat dash through things and use the invincibility from your transform to get through stuff? Are you going to turn into a bat and fly over things? Are you going to use the mist to go through stuff? Even turning into the dog gives you invincibility when you're transforming. Try to keep these things in mind. You know, always have the presence of mind to hit your mana prism if you have access to it as well. These things can save your life, and while it's not as important since we have the Alucard gear now in the any percent run, it's still very relevant today. But that should cover most of the intermediate mechanics for Alucard, for the any percent run, and in general for Soten. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I will continue these videos as time goes on. This is TurboDog7002 for the Castlevania Symphony of the Night any percent route.